He told America right on the campaign trail that he would be a dictator, and the heartland cheered.
We love this guy. He says, "You're not going to be a dictator, are you?" I said, "No, no, no, other than day one. We're closing the border, and we're drilling. After that, I'm not a dictator."
That sounds.
And now Trump is taking one step closer to his dictatorship. No, I'm not talking about how Elon Musk and his Doge dog turds are gutting every government institution they can lay their hands on. No, I'm not talking about how Trump and Musk are defying court orders with impunity. And no, I'm not talking about how Trump is making backroom deals in Saudi Arabia with Putin, because Putin controls him like a puppet. No, I'm talking about how Trump is banishing free speech, and yet all those right-wing First Amendment rights people are as quiet as the crickets. And it's not like we all didn't see this coming. Trump always tells you what he's going to do, either by babbling about it or by lying with impunity about it. Remember when Trump knew nothing about Project 2025?
Number one, I have nothing to do, as you know, and as she knows better than anyone, I have nothing to do with Project 2025. That's out there. I haven't read it. I don't want to read it purposely. I'm not going to read it. This was a group of people that got together. They came up with some ideas, I guess some good, some bad. But it makes no difference. I have nothing to do. Everybody knows I'm an open book.
Let's talk about Project 2025. This is the conservative policy blueprint. You disavowed it during the campaign. You called it a product of the radical right. You've said some of their ideas were abysmal.
I said some of it is. Some of it is very good. Some of it's very...
Yep, she couldn't backpedal fast enough.
So you take me to my question. You're now giving people involved in Project 2025 prominent roles in your administration. Are you changing your mind about Project 2025? No. Is this now the policy blueprint for the second Trump administration?
Some people, if you take a look at the group, it was hundreds of people were involved. And I was actually, I reprimanded the whole group. I said, you shouldn't have placed this document in front of the voters.
So everybody knew this was coming. No one, least of all Democrats, can say they did not know this was coming. And then came Inauguration Day and the fire hose of executive orders, most of which were stupid and many of which have been suspended by the courts. And again, everyone knew this was coming. Everyone knew this was the plan. Throw out a lot of stupid things that no one really cares about, like the Gulf of America, so that it would be too difficult to oppose everything. Meanwhile, step by step, Trump and his cronies have been dismantling democracy from within. Again, while much of the heartland cheers on the coming of fascism. And now, Trump is removing free speech. First, it was the silencing of the CDC and every government agency. No information on public health unless Herr Donald says it's okay. But wait, Democrats complain, that's illegal. Well, not according to Trump. And if you keep saying it's illegal, then you are going to get thrown in jail. Trump is going to make that official with an executive order.
Lastly, we have another executive order that President Trump signed relating to independent agencies. This executive order would establish important oversight functions in the Office of Management and Budget and its subsidiary office, OIRA, supervising independent agencies and many of their actions, and also reestablishes the longstanding norm that only the President or the Attorney General can speak for the United States when stating an opinion as to what the law is.
Thank you very much, Will. That was the primary purpose of this conference.
Two things you can depend on. He always tells you what he's going to do, and Democratic leadership will be caught flat-footed when he does it. Democratic leadership knew this was coming. They had from November 7th until January 19th to come up with an aggressive plan to stop this before it even got started. And they did nothing. They had no plan. Chuck Schumer, Dick Durbin, Amy Klobuchar, and even the venerable liberal firebrand and Harvard law professor Elizabeth Warren put together nothing during that time. Not one iota of a Senate plan. And it doesn't get any better in the House. Hakeem Jeffries may have a unified caucus, but he doesn't do anything. And his Pelosi-appointed leadership did the same thing. Nothing. No plan to implement on day one. And that means when they do try and take meaningful action, like trying to enter federal buildings where Musk is conducting illegal activities, they are held back by one security guard. One guy. Really? No one thought ahead about how you're going to forcibly gain access if opposed, because I'm sorry, folks, we're past the point of symbolic gestures. And the last thing I'm saying is that Democrats need to fight dirty, or the idea I really hate, Democrats need to act like Republicans. No, they don't. But what they do need to do is fight. They have to be willing to abandon decorum and take action. Shut down operations, shut down buildings, or conversely, get into them. Lead large protests, promote victims of this process. The other thing they need to do is hire political chess players, because I'm sorry, whatever political strategists Democrats are employing are as inept as the current leadership, or we wouldn't be here. Jim Carvell and David Axelrod do not have the answers, and obviously neither do their contemporaries. I've said this repeatedly. Part of what disenfranchised voters are voting for are candidates that project power. Democrats are failing to do that at almost every turn, and unless that changes, they're going to fail in the midterms. Worse, they're going to fail in preventing the shutdown of midterm elections. So whether you're a constituent or not, get on the phone and tell Schumer to resign. Forget about stepping down. Every day this guy is in the Senate is another day that AOC should be in the Senate. And the same goes for Jeffries. Now, we can't afford him to resign, but he can certainly step down. Every day he is minority leader is a day that Jasmine Crockett should be leader. Give it up, boys. You're out of your league, and it's time for the heavy hitters to take charge. Oh, and one last thing. Trump, what you're doing is illegal. I'm Anthony Vincent Gallo for Occupy Democrats.